Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's ChrisXradio.
What we need right now is a clear message to the people of this country. This message must be read in every newspaper, heard on every radio, seen on every television. This message must resound throughout the entire interlink.
And now, your host.
I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
Chris X.
Good afternoon and welcome to ChrisXradio. I'm the aforementioned X-Man, along with, Mr. Gary Bohemoth. We call him GB for short. Mr. Bohemoth has assumed control of the airwaves and will maintain control of these airwaves for the next couple of hours. That's right, we bring you a gift beyond price that is almost free, ladies and gentlemen. We bring you the spirit of talk radio. And boy, do we got plenty to get into today, my Lord. There's plenty going on. There's a lot of... Okay, well, everybody's all freaking out about the market. Everybody calm down. The market does this. They're freaking out. Oh, my God, it's the end of the world. If you live by the daily updates on the market, you need to listen to Rich Rosso and the real investment folks, because that's not how it works. So stop listening to that. When it gets into politics, everybody just, oh, what? Wait, what? Okay. So don't worry about that. But there's a whole lot of other things going on. In fact, for those of you that are former Twitterites, X-ites, oh, wow, I didn't put that together, X-ites. Excited. Elon Musk has blamed a massive cyber attack for the X outages today. Oh, yeah, we'll get into that. A whole lot more here on your Manic Monday edition of the program. Once again, I'm the aforementioned X-Man along with Harry. He's Gary. Gary Bohemoth is his name. By the way, I don't have any guests lined up, as far as I know. I reached out to Bob Price earlier, but never heard back. So I'm assuming he's very busy. So unless he responds here in the next 15 minutes or so, then we don't have any guests, which leaves us more time to, of course, talk to you. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. It was a pretty eventful weekend for those who were paying attention to what's going on in the world. And then, of course, now we got everybody, fears of a recession. We've been in a recession for about 3 years, folks. Do you guys remember the part where they kept announcing all these jobs and then they came back and revised it, and it turned out there were no new jobs created during the entire time? That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Joe Biden got the benefit of the fake news media so they could go through and do everything they can to fight off a recession via public opinion. So we've been in a recession for about 3 months. I'm sorry, 3 years. I know the numbers don't back it up. Yeah, well, my bank account does, okay? I'll just say that. But how's your bank account looking over there, Gary? Is it looking all right, or are you feeling the effects of this quote-unquote recession that we might have? Getting nothing out of that guy. Nonetheless, okay, so that's not what I want to talk about. What I do want to talk about is Elon Musk, this massive cyber attack. X was out all morning. It was, it popped in and then popped out, and it was going in and out. I was able to pull it up. Let's see. Hold on. Let me look here. See what we got here. Okay, yeah, it's working for me now. It wasn't necessarily earlier. So, and man, we live in bizarre times. Did you see the track runner they were doing the relay, and they have the batons? And as she's running, she bashes another girl on the head with the baton in the middle of the race. And then now she's on TV crying. It was an accident. I'd never do that on purpose. So you're doubling down on dirtbaggery, okay? My God. We live in bizarre times. That's where we are, folks. That's where we are. I hate to see that because this is, the world that we're in now, since we're dealing with various people. Anyway, okay, so there's that. We got, this is interesting. Washington, D.C. has begun removing the Black Lives Matter Plaza from a street over there near the White House. What is it, over off 16th Street? Yeah. That was up for what, almost 5 years? Is that what it was? 5 years? 4 years? Whatever. We'll dig into that and why that's coming down all of a sudden. Interesting. Do you guys remember how that came up when Trump was in office, right? And they did it just to spite him. Well, we'll dig into that. The State Department has canceled almost all of the USAID contracts, USAID. Some 83% for the United States Agency for International Development contracts have been canceled thanks to Marco Rubio and Donald Trump. Rubio made the statement on the March the 10th. So 5,200 contracts are now canceled. Spent tens of billions of dollars in ways that did not serve, and in some cases, even harmed the U.S. So we got that going on. The Trump administration has relaunched Biden's smartphone application used by nearly 1 million migrants, illegals, to enter the U.S. as a self-deportation tool dubbed CBP Home. So now that app that the Biden administration was using, remember the app to get people here and people were coming in and do it? Well, guess what? That has now changed. Now it is no longer the app to get in. It's how to get out and, of course, how to self-deport. So that's pretty interesting. Speaking of self-deporting, oh, man, got a little something on that, which I'll get to here in just a bit. More illegal aliens were prosecuted in Trump's first 2 months than in Biden's entire term. We'll dig into that. And as I just mentioned, an insider has confirmed that AOC has manipulated federal law to shield an illegal alien who was working as her deputy communications director of her campaign. The guy self-deported after being here illegally for over 20 years. He's self-deported. What? Now, here's my question. Didn't she bypass federal law to ensure that an illegal alien could work for her? No, that's right. They're Democrats. I forget. Democrats' rules don't apply. When it comes to Democrats, they get to do whatever they want. And the rules never apply. No, they don't apply anymore. Not to Democrats. Why would we apply rules to Democrats? Rules only apply to Republicans, okay? If you're a Republican, the rules apply. If you're not, if you're a Democrat, nah, you can do what you want. Well, not so much in the Trumpocalypse season number 2. Trump has come in a man on a mission, and that's pretty clear. Especially last week after he said, after he got shot through the ear, he believes God spared him to come make America great again, okay? Make America great again. Yeah, he's definitely working real hard to do that. And I keep telling people, you're going to have to pace yourself. Pace yourself. Everybody's freaking, oh my God, Trump didn't solve everything. He solved the border on day one, but that's it. He didn't solve everything else. Well, okay. Black Lives Matter Plaza's going away. He did that. Okay, there's that. It's a good sign. State Department cancels 83% of U.S. aid contracts. Yeah, he did that. But did he release the Epstein files day one? Well, he declassified them. He declassified the Epstein files, JFK, RFK, MLK, all the LKs. He declassified those on day one. Were they released day one? They're still not released. Because things that he does not have control over, certain other things, clearly, sometimes it's not going to just go 100% his way. I remember, folks, I've not forgotten, there were some people arguing with me on here. I believe day one he's going to release. Well, they haven't. And there's good reason for it, I'm sure. I'm sure it's not just because they don't want to release it. They don't want people to know. I imagine there's probably something in those files that leads to, well, okay, we may ought to hold on to this for a minute. Let's go ahead and hold. People don't understand that sometimes you can't just go and release everything. One, national security could be involved. How could it be involved? The dude was a billionaire, okay? He knew, and, well, he did a lot with Prince Albert? Which prince was it? It wasn't Prince Rogers Nelson. No, it wasn't him.
Uncle Albert.
We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. But we haven't seen a bloody thing all day.
All day.
Yeah, so there you go. So maybe there's other reasons for it. But nonetheless, so if you wonder why things didn't happen on day one, this is why I was saying, don't be so sure of yourself. Remember, okay, and also there's precedence for my response. Because when Trump was the first season of the Trumpocalypse, when he first went in, was going to release the JFK files. Well, he didn't. He was talked out of it by somebody. Some people say it was Mike Pompeo or whatever. Well, I don't know, but he already declassified all of them. So he declassified them. He said, here you go. I've declassified it, released the information, and then suddenly, well, here's a nothing burger report, and then here's a, as they say, and then here's a, I'm sorry, I was watching, they were showing on the news, the anti-Musk protests, people just losing their mind and being arrested over it. This blows me away. This is how brainwashed people are. They're so brainwashed that they're going to protest a guy who said, listen, we're going to find all the money that's being wasted on certain things, and we're going to stop it. Oh, my God. How dare you? How dare you? Sometimes I feel like I'm just stuck. Don't know what I'm going to say. No, I know exactly what I'm going to say and what we're doing and where we're going. Dear Lord, are we going? So anyway, hold on. What was this? There we go. Sorry, I messed up my little prep here. Okay, tell you what, let's go ahead and take a break. It is, you're listening to Chris X Radio. It's Monday, March 10th. Oh, man, I hear other people are starting to come down with the flu and the cough and all that stuff. Oh, man, it's horrible. Oh, man, we're getting close to Christmas in July. It's not quite here yet. By the way, I have not recovered from the spring forward. I did see on Friday that El Senador sent out these proposal, bill, whatever, to try to stop us from moving the clocks. I'm good with that. Let's stop moving the clocks. I hate it. That messed me up big time. I'm all thrown off. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. I'm Chris X. We're just getting rolling. Don't you go anywhere.
Chris X Radio.
Presenting the Spring Break Tour at Moody Gardens, Galveston Island, featuring the Art of Music Experience, an exhibit of original iconic record album art ranging from Pink Floyd and Madonna to Foo Fighters and more, plus junior golf and kids camps, guided tours, and other hotel packages. Save at moodygardens.org. Moody Gardens presents the Spring Break Tour, a celebration of art, music, and fun on Galveston Island, featuring the Art of Music Experience, an exhibit of original iconic record album art ranging from Pink Floyd and Madonna to Foo Fighters and the stories behind them. Lasting Impressions 3D, where Van Gogh, Renoir, and Monet masterpieces come to life in immersive 3D. Plus, junior golf and kids camps, rainforest and aquarium animal encounters, guided tours, and other packages at the beautiful Moody Gardens Hotel. Book now and save at moodygardens.org. Presenting the Spring Break Tour at Moody Gardens, Galveston Island, featuring Lasting Impressions 3D, where Van Gogh, Renoir, and Monet masterpieces come to life in immersive 3D. Plus, junior golf and kids camps, guided tours, and other hotel packages. Save at moodygardens.org.
Hi, y'all. It's Kathy from Baker Mortgage. You know, with all the scary stuff we've been through, it's still true that timing is everything, and the time to buy is now. But don't go looking without a solid pre-approval in hand. And this includes an application and a detailed discussion about property taxes. If you didn't have the talk, about property taxes, you really don't know what you're pre-approved for. That should make you wonder what else they may have left out. Mortgages are personal. Let's face it, we're dealing with your home and your money, and it doesn't get much more personal than that. When it's the largest transaction that most people will ever be involved in, imagine having someone on your side looking out after you. What a concept. We audit your closing statement to make sure you're not paying for things that you're not supposed to. Do you think your big bank's going to do that? Probably not. For all of your mortgage needs, call us at Baker Mortgage. I promise you'll be glad you did. We're at 281-313-MOVE or go directly to bakermortgage.com.
Equal housing lender. License number 263213.
This report sponsored by Gallery Furniture. If made in America is important to you, come to Gallery Furniture. Buy it today, get it today. Gallery Furniture saves you money.
And we'll try to save you a little time if you're heading up the North Freeway northbound just before West Road. We got an accident there blocking off a couple of left lanes. Now traffic is backed up just outside the North Loop, so you may want to use the Hardy Toll Road as an alternate there. Also on the North Belt, both ways between JFK and 45, heavy traffic there and heavy in and around the downtown area. All roads lead to heavy. Buckle up.
Mattress Mac, Gallery Furniture. Other day a customer called. She said, my husband's coming home from back surgery 2 days early. Can you get me a Mac Z-Cliner in 2 hours? We said yes, yes, yes. Gallery Furniture delivered the chair, set it up. She called the next day, said my husband said he hadn't slept that good in months. If you want a Mac Z-Cliner, if you're recovering from surgery, call Gallery Furniture. Gallery Furniture delivers fast, fast, fast. Free today. Sit great, sleep great, feel great in the Mac Z-Cliner today.
Everyone knows the BBB is the Better Business Bureau, but depending on what you need, it's the Better Plumber Bureau, the Better Auto Mechanic Bureau, the Better Accountant Bureau. That's because the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better check that business out first so you don't get ripped off bureau. Be smart. Always look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi folks, Dan Patrick here. Beautiful and healthy trees increase your property value, but sick, ugly trees will decrease the value of your home. That's why I recommend you call Ability Tree Experts at 281-441-4179. Caring for the beautiful and valuable trees on your property that you can't replace. That's why you need to call my friend Louis Flory and Ability Tree Experts. I've known them for over 40 years. Gosh, this guy is the pro when it comes to taking care of trees. Well-fed and pruned tree will be less susceptible to wind damage and uprooting. You know, pruning is important for the health of your trees and allows the sun and fresh air into the canopy. Trees can be in distress several months without showing any signs. So don't wait to protect your investment. Call Louis Flory now at 281-441-4179, 281-441-4179, or visit their website at abilitytrees.com. Right now, receive a deep root feeding with every tree pruned. That's Ability Tree Experts. Ability Tree, Houston's leading tree care professional.
And now, back to Chris X Radio on the Voice of Texas.
You know, this really had to be their, I guess their best song. It wasn't really, I mean, theirs. Of course, it was also a remake, so there's that. Welcome back to Chris X Radio. I'm the aforementioned X-Man, along with Gary Bohemoth. Glad to have you here with us. If you want to join us today, 281-558-KSEV. That's 281-558-5738. Still recovering from that stuff. Remember all that stuff? I was sick, you know, not last week, week before. Still recovering. I got some hot tea. Hold on. Wait, it ain't so hot now. It's delicious. Apparently, some of the other hosts are having some issues, so you got to watch out for that. Dear Lord, God bless them. Oh, man. I'm still here. What is it? I guess it wasn't last week, but it was the week before I was out. I was sick. And then now I've kind of gotten over that and I moved on. But I'm still, I still got a little bit of that drip, that nasal drip in the back. And then that stuff gets in your lungs. I'm still coughing it out. It's like, my Lord. So if you hear me doing any of that, well, then you'll know why. All right. And that makes for a Manic Monday edition of the program. Glad to have you here with us. And as I was saying, if you want to join us, 281-558-KSEV. Elon Musk is blaming this massive cyber attack for the X outages earlier today. They're saying this looks like it was probably one of those DDoS, or whatever you call them, attacks. I'm not quite sure how this works, but I'm clearly not a tech guru when it comes to this. But I guess they figured a group known as Dark Storm Team claimed responsibility for the attack. They said they have not been independently verified, but in a post that you can go read on X, I think you can get to it now, at least I did. There still is a massive cyber attack against X. We get attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources. Either a large coordinated group and or a country is involved tracing. I guess that means he's tracing it down, going to try to figure out who did it. So Elon Musk going and trying to save people some money, save tax dollars. Oh, man, he became enemy numero dos. He really did. All right, 281-558-KSEV if you want to join us, 281-558-5738. Tell you what, let's go to is it Lewis or Luis? Lewis in the hobby area. Lewis, thanks for hanging on. Welcome to Chris X Radio.
Good day, Chris. It's Lewis. So just another win just to bring up that the leakers who were warning all the undocumented aliens here has been caught by the Justice Department. So that's another win. And again, don't need the deep state to be out here trying to, do their thing and subvert the will of the people. So just another win to bring up in our Manic Monday talk. But just wanted to bring that up and just bring everybody's attention.
First of all, you're right on. And this is something that Christy Nome, she was over the weekend, she was going on the shows and was talking with the woman who sticks her foot in her mouth every week, who was trying to garner sympathy for the illegal aliens that are here. And she was talking about, she goes, oh, yeah, we verified who these people are. And they didn't just verify them, they caught them, and now they're prosecuting them. So you're absolutely right, Lewis. That is a big win because apparently that was rampant during the first administration with, leakers. And I remember every other day there was a new leak coming out. And then now that's sort of, we're not getting quite as many leaks as we were. And these were leaks to help protect and allow people that are committing horrible crimes here in America that are not even supposed to be here. So, yeah, that's a big win that you're right. Not a lot of people are talking about. So, thank you for the update on that, Lewis. I appreciate it.
No problem. And also just a quick update about the attack on X this morning. It looked like there's also some stuff that's about to come out saying that there's some individuals with large AI farms that were involved in this whole thing. So kind of using that technology against us. And again, you put Elon's trying to do the Lord's work, and this is what he gets. So.
Boy, no kidding. Thank you for the call, Lewis. Appreciate it. It's absolutely 100%. The guy is literally going in and trying to do the best he can. It's, Elon Musk is a weird dude, but he's a good kind of weird dude. Once again, he's very awkward. Fine. He's got the autism. So he's an autistic guy, but he's brilliant, obviously. Except for we got one listener here, at least one listener who listens to this program on a regular basis who is smarter than Elon Musk. He told us so. So there's one guy that's smarter than Elon Musk, but the guy sleeping in an office up in D.C., working every day with his team, trying to go through there and do this. He's not getting paid for it. He's doing this because he understands if you put yourself in his position, you got to understand the guy came here from South Africa looking for what? The great American dream. Well, he's far surpassed it. He's the richest man on the planet. But that being said, he was watching what was taking place. When he bought Twitter, which is now X, he said, I didn't buy a social media network. I bought a crime scene. And he did. He bought a crime scene. There were multiple crimes committed with what they were doing with Twitter. And then they had the Twitter files, and those people, at least one of them, who came out and said, yeah, these things were taking place. immediately gets what? They get hit by the IRS. They went and raid. They didn't raid. They went to the dude's home. They showed up while he was testifying before Congress. That's the way the other side plays. Anyway, this guy saw it. This dude who was pretty much on the other side. When he first came over here, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Democrat. And he goes, and now he's posting things like, what's a Republican? Well, it was a Democrat 10 years ago. So the guy's coming in, and he's working every day, working very hard to try to go through there. And then you see things like USAID, where they've canceled 83% of the contracts. That was just the first thing that he went and got. The first one. Right out of the gate. Went and found that. Democrats lost their minds. And now you've got what? All of these crazy people attacking him. He gets death threats every day. He's being attacked constantly. Why? Because he's exposing fraud and corruption. I tell you what, you're never going to get a response greater than that of someone who is in the middle of fraud and corruption, and you expose their corruption. Kind of like the lady, the young lady. It was, I guess, college sports. I think it was. I'm not sure. They're running in the relay, and she's got the baton. And as she's running by, she smacks the other woman in the head with it. And then that woman drops the baton and falls down. And then, of course, she's on television crying. It was an accident. I swear I didn't mean to do it. It was 100%. She absolutely meant to do it. 100%. No doubt whatsoever. Done on purpose. Not an accident. But what? We're going to double down on lies. Why? Because that's what they do. Now imagine that on a scale 100,000 million, gazillion, quadrillion times. Now you're getting in to the dirty that is politics. All right, tell you what. Okay, we're over. Let's go ahead and take another break. We'll come back. We got Don out in Point Blank. We'll get more of your phone calls as well. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. Washington, D.C. has begun removing Black Lives Matter Plaza from, I think, 16th Street there near the White House. Remember when that was put in? You remember why it was put in? George Floyd. We're going to do this just to put thumb in Trump's eye. Was it 4 years later? We've learned that the George Floyd case isn't exactly what they painted it out to be. And you've got Ben Shapiro. He's come out. He's really rallying to try to get Derek Chauvin pardoned. When you go look at the autopsy report, 281-558-KSEV. I'm Chris X. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere.
You're listening to Chris X Radio, AM 700, KSEV.
Plumbing emergencies never happen at a convenient time. Nix Plumbing offers free estimates and free second opinions. Call Nix Plumbing and Sewer Services, 713-868-9907, or visit us on the web, nixplumbing.com.
MPL 38548.
This is Kevin O'Hara with O'Hara & Company Real Estate in O'Hara Homes. I'm going to drop some truth bombs that I believe. We're in a global war against evil. Donald Trump is a wartime president. COVID-19 was not the bioweapon the jab was. A surgical mask will not prevent you from getting a virus. The 2020 election was rigged. If you're watching mainstream media, you're being lied to. The elites of this world have been running the largest human trafficking and pedophile ring. The Ukraine is a deep state stronghold. God is real and created two genders, male and female, and Jesus died for our sins. If you're not awake yet, you better wake up. If you want a real estate company that'll give you the truth, give O'Hara & Company Real Estate a call at 281-373-3393 or look us up on the web at oharare.com. If you're looking for a contractor, call O'Hara Homes at the same number, 281-373-3393. God wins this war. Nothing can stop what is coming. Where we go one, we go all. God bless America and God bless Texas.
And now, we return you to your regularly scheduled dose of common sense. Chris X Radio. Chris X Radio.
You know what's weird is this song came out like in 2000, 2001. Learn to Fly. But just talk about bad timing. It's a great song. The video's hilarious. A little bad timing, I guess. But the song still endures. It still lives. All right, welcome back to Chris X Radio. I'm the aforementioned X-Man, along with Harry Behemoth. Taking your calls if you want to join us. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. Okay, so Washington, D.C. began removing the Black Lives Matter Plaza from the 16th Street over there near the White House. Crews began removing the large yellow Black Lives Matter painted on the street 1 block away from the White House. What's funny is when I went to D.C., I went around, I never saw it. It must have been on one of the sides that I didn't see. I remember going around riding a bike. I was riding one of those e-bikes or whatever, going around. I wanted to go up to the White House, so I did. But I remember riding around portions of the White House, but it's so congested and there's so much craziness. I don't know if I went by it and didn't notice it, but nonetheless, I didn't see it. But they've started removing it. Now, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser announced the change last week in response to pressure from activists, these activist Republicans in Congress, they say. The work is expected to take about 6 weeks, and the words will be replaced by an unspecified set of city-sponsored murals. Now, they could have just painted over it, but that's not how they work in D.C. Instead, they're like tearing it up and redoing everything and whatever. The painting of those words was an act of government-sponsored defiance during President Trump's first term. The removal amounts to a public acknowledgement of just how vulnerable the District of Columbia is now that Trump is back in the White House and Republicans control both houses of Congress. Elections have consequences. The change comes as a Georgia Republican, Andrew Clyde, introduced a bill to the U.S. House that threatened to withhold federal funding to D.C. unless the district renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza to Liberty Plaza. What's funny, it's interesting watching D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. She's been going through and trying to work with the Trump administration on things they have in common compared to things they don't have in common, which is generally kind of what you're supposed to do. But no, everything's so contentious. What's amazing is watching all of the Democrats go crazy and talk about how Trump is so bad and he's so horrible with what he says when they're the ones that say everything first. They're the ones that everything he does is a response to something they does. But that's not how it gets coverage, is it? No, not at all. Not even remotely close. Everything he does is in response to something that they've done. Because if you do not go along with the Democrats, you're going to get smashed. Or at least that's how it was. Things are slightly different now. Oh, hold on. What do we got going on here? Okay, Houston Oak Pollen Tracker. Last 7 counts of pollen per cubic meter of air. 44, 20, 16, 74, 97 on March 6th. 59, 413 for today. What the hell? Okay, great. I guess this means tomorrow I'm going to be dying. Okay, hold on. There we go. Tree is high, is extreme. Grass is low. Mold is low. And then there's one other that is blocked by the closed captioning I cannot read. So I guess weed pollen. Maybe there's that. So, okay, there we go. So I'll be fighting that stuff. By the way, even though I got sick last week or a week before last, I have not been taking any of the, knock on wood. Hear that? I'm knocking on wood. I have not taken any of the allergy medicine. And I haven't had any trouble. I haven't had trouble with sleeping or I've just, I get that stuff that in your back of your throat and every now and then it'll make me cough. But other than that, no, I'm not feeling bad at all. I feel great, actually. Knock on wood again. Okay, Gary Bohemian, are you listening? I'm knocking on wood, okay? I feel great right now. I need to continue to feel great. My God, after the week before last. Did you hear that? I just breathed and there was no wheezing or anything. Just did it again. Tell you what, let's go get some phone calls if you want to join us. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. You know, by the way, if someone knows, you can explain to me. I don't remember all this mold pollen and all this stuff when we were younger. I don't remember this stuff when I was a kid. Now, I don't know if it just didn't affect me because I was outside all the time or whatever, but it didn't bother me at all. Not one bit. Now, usually if I go out and it's bad out, man, I can feel it almost instantly. I immediately start, nose starts running. Oh, hold on. Was out earlier and my nose was running. That could be it. Okay, let's go to the phones. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. Let's go to Don listening in Point Blank. Don, thank you for hanging on. Welcome to Chris X Radio.
There's a bad dude turned 85 today.
Wait, there's a bad dude that turned 85 today?
Yeah.
Is his name Don?
No. I'll be 80 later this year, but it's not me.
Okay, all right. You notice
Chuck
how I
Norris.
immediately went from bad dude to you, right? You notice how I went there?
Chuck Norris.
Oh, that's right. Chuck is 85.
That's
And
unbelievable.
it is, and he looks great for his age. I don't know if you've seen him recently. Man, he looks fantastic for 85.
Oh, I know. I hadn't seen him recently. I used to drive by his ranch every day going to work, but that was about 30 years ago. But I've seen him on TV, advertising the exercise equipment, and he looks great.
Yeah, what's funny is I haven't seen the ads lately, but I have seen him on various things on social media and other things, and it's like, man, the guy looks fantastic for his age. Then again, he's freaking Chuck Norris, so there's that. I still love all the Chuck Norris facts, which I haven't done in a while. Maybe we'll bring those back here. So in honor of his birthday, maybe I'll go pull up some Chuck Norris facts during the break. But those are freaking hilarious. But yeah, I don't know how well received it was, but I know it made him a lot of money, was the Walker Texas Ranger. It was funny when it first came on, I really didn't watch it, but then I started watching it after it had been on for a while. I really enjoyed the show. It was actually a lot of fun, and of course it was Chuck Norris, so there you go.
I loved it. And his sidekick, who's a little black guy, I forget. He was so funny.
Yeah, I look up his name. He's been in many other things, but that guy's great too. You're right. Him. I liked the old guy with the mustache and that guy too. He was great. So it was like I said, it was a fun show and it was enjoyable. Hold on, let me look. I'm gonna see. Clarence is the guy's name. Clarence Gilliard. Is that it?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that's the black guy, his partner, Clarence Gilliard Jr. Yeah, okay, he was great. He was on from 93 to 2001. Oh, can't forget Alex Cahill. That's Cherie J. Wilson. That was the love interest. Noble Willingham played C.D. Parker.
Yeah.
C.D. Parker. Yeah, so, and then later on, Nia Peoples. You guys remember her? She showed up. And then, let's see, anybody? There were so many people came and went through that series. I can't even... There's no way we could get them all in there, but those were the main cast characters. And of course, Cordell Walker. It's Cordell. That's what I remember with Noble Willingham. Cordell, what's going on, Cordell? I always called him Cordell, which I thought was pretty hilarious. So, well, happy birthday, Chuck Norris. Thank you, Chuck Norris.
But I was calling. This is maybe a little dated. A couple of weeks ago, you played that comedian that's talking about how nothing can come from nothing.
Oh, yeah. What's that guy's name? Hold on a second. I'll tell you. Where's it at? Pete Holmes, God Doesn't Exist. Well, that's what they say. Nothing can come from nothing. Yeah, well, that's just give a basis for that. That's just the first law of thermodynamics. The amount of energy and matter, it can be converted. Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared. That's how we get nuclear explosions, matter turning into energy. But still, you get these guys like Lawrence Krauss, who says the universe just came out of nothing. Well, if you got nothing, I mean really nothing, all you'll ever have is nothing.
no space, no time, no laws, no matter, no energy. So
it's the defining factor of nothing. Is nothing from nothing leads nothing.
Right. Well, like the late Dr. R.C. Sproul, he said, theologian, great man, but he said some physicist wrote him once, said, well, you got to understand science has defined 5 different kinds of nothing. And he said, well, what does nothing A have that nothing B doesn't have? This sort of thing. It's like, go back to Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer. They said nothing comes from nothing. Nothing ever could.
Well, and then let's go back. Well, I guess maybe not quite as far, or can't remember, but imagine you probably remember nothing from nothing leads nothing. Nothing from nothing gives or leaves nothing. So go back to a little bit of great music times, but nonetheless, I thank you for the call, Don. Listen, here we go. I'm going to play so everybody knows who didn't hear what I played. This comedian. This is one of the best debates for religion that I've heard. His name is Pete Holmes, and he was debating with someone that says, that God doesn't exist. Take a listen. This is him explaining, well...
Some people think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist? Nothing. That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist. So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty magical nothing, you guys. And ask the nothing people, what happens when you die? They'll tell you, nothing. You go into nothing. I'm like, you mean you merge back with your creator? That's heaven, bitch.
That's pretty good. It's kind of tough to argue when he takes that approach. So I'm pretty good with that. That's nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Is that Billy Preston? Is that who sang that? I'll have to look that up during the break as well. And some Chuck Norris facts. So happy birthday, Chuck Norris. And thank you, Chuck Norris, for all of the great times and great movies. And over the weekend, I actually watched, caught the last half of it. I think was the precursor to Walker, Texas Ranger. It was, I'm forgetting the name of it now. What was the name of the movie? It was where he fights as David Carradine at the end. Hold on. You know what? I do have this thing called the internet right in front of me. I guess I could go look and see. Oh, Chuck Norris has some movies that were on. There's still some stuff coming out. Wait a minute. What? Chuck Norris was on the Goldbergs? I didn't know that. He was in Dodgeball, a true underdog story. That's a good one. No, but it was one of the old, the really good old. Hold on. He's a Texas Ranger. It's the one, what is the name of it? I can't believe Lone Wolf McQuade. There we go. I could not think. I was blanking. I was dying on that. But man, I remember when I was a kid watching An Eye for an Eye, The Octagon, Good Guys Wear Black. Man, that's 1978. What was I, 11 years old then? And he's also in a little old Bruce Lee movie you may have seen. So you got to watch that. All right, let's go and take a break. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. I'm Chris X. Man, we've only got one segment remaining in this first hour already. Oh, don't worry. We got hour number 2 coming up. Oh, everybody's all upset about the Love is Blind. The woman who dumped the groom for not being woke enough. She did that dude such a favor. That dude dodged a bullet even closer than Donald Trump did at that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Just saying. Just saying. All right, 281-558 KZV. I'm Chris X. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere.
The revolution continues after this. Chris X Radio. Chris X Radio.
Let's be honest, no one ever thinks about their garage until it stops working. The problem is, worn out springs, cables, and rollers can break before they give any sign of trouble. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repairs. Recommended all over Houston, Garage Door Doctor is your trusted partner for all your garage door needs. Every time your garage door opens and closes, there is wear and tear taking place. If not properly serviced each year, a simple fix could turn into a costly repair. Let the experts at Garage Door Doctor tune up your garage door and keep it running for a lifetime. The Garage Door Doctor motto, honest, quality work at a fair price, isn't just words. It's the Garage Door Doctor promise. Because when you're with Garage Door Doctor, you're family. We never employ subcontractors to do our work. Our staff, including our own family members, will treat your garage as their own. Schedule an appointment today at garagedoordoctor.biz or call today.
Do you have a home you need to sell fast? Fast Home Offer will buy it from you in any condition with a 100% all-cash offer. You get a fast closing and no hassles of showing your home. Call now for your free 100% cash offer for your home. You can have your money in days. Call us right now. We know it's urgent.
800-203-6146. 800-203-6146. That's 800-203-6146.
And now, back to Chris X Radio. Chris X Radio on the voice of Texas.
Good music. And good old school Rush. I have not listened to good old school Rush in a while. Man, that's okay. That's. I was reading over the weekend some a story about Rush on the final tour. I think it was 2019, and they said there were times where he Neil Peart, the drummer, had gotten an infection in his foot, and it was so hard that he couldn't even. He had to have help walking to the stage and walking to the drum set. But not, of course, he'd play the entire. Man, they do 3-hour shows. So I was like, my God, God bless them. But yeah, they would do 3-hour shows and go all the way. I was like, oh my God. And anyway, so they finished their. I guess it was the last one, and someone had posted the picture of them, because of all the times they performed, they would never, all get up together and stand at the front of the stage and then bow or whatever. Well, at their last show they did. I think it was in Los Angeles was what their final show was, and he came out around and did it. And then, of course, that was it. And then he passed away in 2020. He had brain cancer. So it was like, man. And now as we get older, like I said, we lost him. We lost Dusty Hill, the bass player for ZZ Top, a couple of power trios right there. We lost Eddie Van Halen. They were a power trio with a singer. So, but it's like, man, just losing these greats that we grew up on. It just being a kid. There's a certain. Well, by the way, I know we didn't really talk much about this. They've released the information regarding Gene Hackman's death. The story's very bizarre. First of all, his wife, one of his dogs, and then, of course, him, were all found dead, and they had barely been dead for a while in their home. So everybody was like, okay, what happened? Well, it turns out that his wife, they say, passed away first. She apparently had contracted the hantavirus, you can get from rodent droppings or whatever, or somehow she had contracted the hantavirus. And then, and by the way, his home was a 3-structure home. So there was 3 different, levels or 3 different completely separate structures, something like this. Anyway, so she passed away, and then that was why she was trying to, I guess she was sick, so she was trying to take medication, and then she collapsed and died. And the dog, I guess, was in the closet in its crate. So they're assuming that's probably why that dog died. And then apparently 7 days later, then Gene Hackman collapsed and died. That was the last reading they got on his pacemaker. He was 95 years old. She was only 65. And they say it looks like she was his primary caretaker. So when she died, he had dementia. So apparently he didn't realize she died. He didn't know that she had died, is what they're guessing, and that he was probably just going on doing what he does. And because he had dementia, he would never either follow up or find out what was going on. No telling. Anyway, they found him. I guess he was laying in a hallway. He apparently collapsed. So it looks like what happened was his heart had he had advanced heart disease, severe heart disease. And then they said it contributed, with the dementia. That didn't help. And if his primary caretaker had passed away 7 days earlier, probably wasn't taking whatever medication he was supposed to be taking or whatever. But it sucks because he was one of the great ones. I was talking about the musicians. Well, he was a great actor. I mean, a fantastic actor. And from what I hear, he's a pretty good dude. They say he was tough. But then again, from that generation, he's 95. Him and Clint Eastwood are the same age. And Clint Eastwood still, knock on wood, still going strong from what I can tell. So he's 95. But, man, in my brain, they're not that old yet. In my brain, they're still, for some reason, it's etched in my brain from The Unforgiven. That movie is how old they are in my brain. Yeah, they're a lot older than that. That movie was, 30 years ago? When was that? I guess I could go look that up after. You know what? Hold on. Let's do Unforgiven. 1992. So that was 38 years ago? God. Oh, time waits for no man, does it? Except for Chuck Norris, who's 85 today. Chuck Norris turned 85. So without further ado, let's do some Chuck Norris facts, okay? There you go. Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. That's how tough Chuck Norris is. Once a cobra bit Chuck Norris's leg. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the cobra died. Chuck Norris can actually kill 2 stones with 1 bird. When a zombie apocalypse starts, Chuck Norris doesn't try to survive. The zombies do. And Chuck can set ants on fire with a magnifying glass at night. And people can actually hear Chuck Norris sign language. There's your Chuck Norris facts. All right, we'll try to do some more in the second hour. All right, don't you go anywhere. You're listening to Chris X Radio. And I cannot believe hour number 1's done. All right, we'll be right back for hour number 2. Don't you go anywhere.